Hello, I'm Hilda Haryono. Now, I'm going to answer all three questions of lexicography exam. I'm going to answer the first question, which is about terminology triangle. Before, we, Before the lexicographer gives a name to an object, they need to understand about the concept of the object first. Concept is like the definitions of the object. It is like the characteristic of the object. For example, the concept of this object, it can call someone from a long distance, it is made from metal, and it relies on signal to call someone. That is the example of the concept of this object. And then after understanding about the concept of the object, now the lexicographer needs to take a look at the object, which is the realization of the concept. The object of those concepts is this. After the lexicographer understands about how the object looks like, now they can give a name to that object. Because lexicography is about perspective, it means that all lexicographers in his work give the name of this object in a different way. For example, in England, this object is called mobile. In Indonesia, it is called telepon genggam because it can be brought to anywhere and everywhere. In US, it is called as cellular phone, which means it is a phone that relies on a signal. Now, I'm going to answer the second question, which is about the history of dictionary. The history of dictionary can be traced back to the Old English period, where the historian found out about a translation book about religious thing from English to Latin. In 15th century, the historian found out about a regular bilingual English-Latin dictionary. Unlike its predecessor, this dictionary is just like a regular dictionary, but it is just English to Latin and vice versa. In 1604, a travel periodical containing writing and understanding of loanwords in English was invented by Robert Cowdery. This dictionary gave an understanding about all loanwords of English, which came from Hebrew, Latin, French, Dutch, or etc. In 1721, Universal Etymological Dictionary containing etymology and pronunciation was invented by Nathaniel Bailey. This dictionary was the first dictionary which gave us understanding about etymology of words in English and how to pronounce it. Some years later, in 70 and 75, an explanatory dictionary containing examples from English literature was invented by Samuel Johnson. 5 years later, the first pronunciation dictionary was invented by Thomas Sheridan. This was the first dictionary which 100% focused on giving understanding of how to pronounce a word in English. In 1791, a critical pronouncing dictionary and expositor of the English language was invented by John Walker. In 1828, an American dictionary of English language was invented by Noah Webster. This was like a declaration from American people that they wanted to create their own English accent, which was different from the British accent. Between 1858 until 1928, the new English dictionaries with all words existing in that language was developed. In 1895, around the development of new English dictionaries, Fong and Watnell's New Standard Dictionaries was invented. In 1911, the Conscious Oxford Dictionary of Current English, which contained all words that existed in English around that time, was invented. In 1933, the Oxford English Dictionary was invented. This is the most widely used dictionaries in the world. Around 2 years later, the Random House Dictionary was invented. This is another most widely used dictionaries, aside Oxford English Dictionary. Finally, in 1969, the American Heritage Dictionary of the English Language was invented. This was a special dictionary because it was the first dictionary to use corpus linguistics in the world. And the last question is how a word enters a dictionary. It is a long process. The first step of adding a new word is the lexicographer needs to get a suggestion from the people about that new word, or they can check it from the corpus analysis. After that, they can add that future new word in their database. The next step is the lexicographer needs to know whether that word has been used as a writing source or not. If yes, it can go to the next process. If not, it can't go into the dictionary. The next step, after checking whether the word has been used by several writers or not, the lexicographer needs to check it out whether whether it is used by a lot of people or it is just used by several communities. The next step is the lexicographers will check the history of this word, and they will also predict that whether this word can be used for a long time or not. After that, the lexicographer needs to check whether this word is a trademark or not. If it is not a trademark, it will automatically go to the next process, and if it is a trademark, it will be checked by testing whether it can be used as a verb or not. In the past, there is an example of a trademark being a word, which was Jirok. After passing the trademark test, the lexicographer analyzes the corpus example of use to write the definition of this word. After that, the lexicographer needs to consult with specialists and liaise with the OED editors for the dates and etymologies of the possible new word. Then, the lexicographer drafts a full entry, and they need to wait a comment from the editorial team about the possible word. Finally, after this new word gets a verification from the editor team, this new word will be included in the Oxford dictionaries online. That's it. I have already answered all those 3 questions for this exam. Thank you for your attention and have a nice day.